My experiments with Albertia in odorum. The 18th of August. I chewed the leaves and felt nothing but the bad taste. I will try to extract it with dissolvent. The 25th of August. I gradually changed the proportion of the solvents to get the more effective extract. I use alcohol and ether as solvents. In the beginning, the liquids do not mix and the border between them is clear. This allows controlling the proportions well. I keep recording all the effects, including the side ones, but till this very moment, I have noticed nothing but light dizziness the day after. The 1st of October. It is hard to explain, but the effect of dual personality, which is specific to Albertia, becomes phenomenal if I combine inhalation of fumes of the plant extract with the infrasound exposure in my capsule. It is difficult to find a more conclusive evidence for my theory. Anyway, it is necessary to be very careful in view of this factor. An isolated intake of the Albertia extract causes slower intoxication. It leads to immobilization and occasionally to incoherent visions, sort of febrile delirium. It is quite difficult to remember even general details of the visions in a few hours. The 18th of October. As a result of my experiments, I have concluded that if we consider that the capsule is the gate to the shimmering world, then the agent received from Albertia is the key to the door. Reworking the capsule took a lot of time while dealing with the plant, but it was very simple. It requires 5 portions of alcohol and 3 portions of ether to get the extract. The 6th of November. I have been experiencing a very strange side effect during the last days. I've started to remember my early childhood in its most minute detail, especially that tragic episode which I wish to erase from my memory. But my mind replays it over and over again. It is unbearable. The 10th of September. The whole week has passed like one moment. Progressively, fewer students are visiting my lectures, but I do not care anymore. Looking through the books, the notes of the Englishman, utter nonsense as I thought beforehand, I found a very interesting fact. The courts, which the Dolmans were built of, along with the specifics of the construction, allowed generating ultrasound as well as infrasound. It means that it is necessary to change the strength and character of the ripple, and it seems like I will need the 5th controller. Soon my expenses will be much greater than my income, but I do not want to think about that. The 8th of October. I have been carrying out experiments with the organophone during the last 2 days. All the windows are vibrating and the plaster peels off the ceiling. Peter, who is laying the lines, complained about paroxysms of panic, so I gave him the earplugs. Now I am sure that I have calculated the size of the capsule and its layout correctly. It means that the problem is in the acoustic pressure and the ripple. The 10th of October. It is a great day. I cannot believe in my success. Finally, I have managed to be there for a few seconds. I did not feel my physical body, but at the same time, I was aware of myself and everything around me. It is hard to believe, but I could move in that world. I guarantee that all I had seen was not a result of overexertion, but the work of my machine, which implemented the experience of the ancient civilizations. Also, the chemical effect of the plant should not be disregarded, but I do know it produces an absolutely different effect when isolated. I must hurry to the cellar and celebrate this occasion with a bottle of Chateau Bordeaux. The 12th of October. It appears to be even more extraordinary than I could imagine. I have started a new diary where I thoroughly record every detail of my presence in what I decided to call the Shimmering world. The second trip was distinctly longer and lasted for 2.5 minutes. I insist now that it is possible not only to travel there, but also to interact with various objects. Sometimes it reminds me of our habitual world reflected in a distorting mirror and with dimmed colors. Experiments are ongoing. Last week I realized that the Shimmering world exists under its own laws of time and space. Now it appears much more complex and deeper than it seemed before. I think this is the second day that I've spent without having a meal, but doing this would force me to go out, but that's the last thing I want to do. The 23rd of October. The slightest equipment malfunction can lead to the failure of the whole research. I scarcely have money for buying new parts. The latest innovation. I installed the control panel with the toggle switchers in the living room for more comfort and safety. I do not know when I'll have the occasion to write again. The journal takes too much precious time, which I rather dedicate to exploring the Shimmering world. Dolmans. I have been thinking about the mystery of the Dolmans for many years. We know nothing about its builders, their beliefs, and their way of living. Scientists used to think that these stone structures were patrimonial interments, but it was a big mistake, for remains were found only in several dolmens, and probably those had been put there by latter inhabitants hundreds of years after the construction. My theory is the result of studying strict regularities of the construction of every dolmen. The discovery suggests that the dolmen builders belong to a highly developed and pragmatic culture, alien to barbaric and primitive traditions of that time. Their complete disappearance is one of the greatest mysteries. There are neither evidences of wars nor natural disasters, as if they died at once of a mysterious disease, or just dissolved into thin air. Once during a trip to Western Caucasia, I talked to an archaeologist who told me that there were remnants of Albertia inodorum plant on the antic potsherds found in the dolmens. It is quite a rare plant with small purple flowers. It grows in mountain areas which are difficult to access. I brought the abertia seeds home, just in case, and tried to couch them in my greenhouse. When I found the soil as dry as in the plant's natural aerial, it put down the roots. Meanwhile, I read in a botanical encyclopedia that the plant contains a substance which has a dissociative effect. In other words, it splits and separates connections between different parts of our mind. The usual interactions between memory, feelings, consciousness, and the ability to move become broken. The effect is really hard to imagine.